Hello everyone, this is Natasha again from Natural Answers, and today I'm going to talk to you about the issue of UTIs, which are urinary tract infections. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is because UTIs are becoming increasingly common and they can cause a lot of frustration and a lot of panic, especially, for parents having small children that have this. And especially when they start reoccurring. I know that there's a lot of frustration. I want to give you guys the hope that there is a way to get through this, and we will get through this. So this is my attempt to see if I can help you out in the situation that you are in. And so I'm going to talk to you today about all the preventative measures, how we can actually help heal them using the holistic approach, and what to do when the UTIs keep reoccurring, right? I Now, before we actually get started with the video, I do want to give you guys a disclaimer that I always recommend following your doctor's advice first. I'm only providing the complementary therapy, the herbal, the traditional approach. Um, if you feel like it's really serious and you want to go to the hospital, always, just dial 911, get to the hospital, follow the doctor's advice first, all right? But this video is meant to be just like an information based on the holistic approach. So the issue with UTIs is that what happens is that the most common treatment is antibiotics. And especially when there's a reoccurrence, what happens is that stronger antibiotics are given, and sometimes they're given over a longer time span because the whole attempt is that that infection does not extend to the kidneys, which could become life-threatening as well. But on the other hand, the antibiotics do weaken the immunity and they do create resistance for future infections, right? So what happens is if you're giving somebody an antibiotic, the antibiotic is meant to be kind of like a bomb that kills all kind of bacteria, including the good bacteria that might be in your gut that might be fighting off these infections. Those also get killed. So if the infection attacks again before the time that that bacteria has had time to your body has had time to recover, then it's like a weaker system is facing that infection now, right? So we want to always do whatever we can to prevent the infection from occurring in the first place, right? Now, overuse of antibiotics, misusing them, giving them on the wrong time, not giving them on the timely basis as recommended, these create other risks as well. Like, for example, they can create antibiotic resistance, right? So, all of those things we want to avoid. So let's look at what causes a UTI. A UTI could be caused, generally, it's caused by a bacterial infection. The occurrence is in the urinary tract, which does include your urethra, ureters, bladder, and they can affect your potentially your kidneys as well, right? Usually, a high fever is a sign or an indication that the infection is reaching the kidneys. The doctor will right away check for that, right? Um, Sometimes that's not always the case, but that's what we would always check for. But other symptoms could include, for example, burning with the urination. There might be additional discharge. There might be pelvic pressure or abdominal discomfort. So you want to kind of, especially if it's a small child, you want to kind of soothe that area, right? Beyond that, if it's getting serious, it can cause nausea and vomiting as well. And why does it happen in children? Well, the younger children, it's quite common because their system is not yet immune to fighting germs, right? And sometimes what happens is it could be something in the diet, it could be stress. Stress is a good factor. And when we look at the holistic perspective and we say, okay, why are the infections being caused in those specific areas? That has a lot to do with the emotion of fear. If the child is constantly in a state of fear, their muscles tend to be staying, like, tightening up. Sometimes they might not urinate properly. They might not release all of the urine, for example. They might be holding in a lot of stress. When we feel fear, a lot of chemicals are released from the brain that do disrupt the hormones as well. So all of these things could be affecting your child as well. So you want to see what can you do to keep the child in a relaxed state. Don't scream at them, don't yell in front of them. Those could all be, potentially affecting your child and their health. Other than that, frequent use of soaps, especially if you're using scented products that are not meant to be for children, don't use those products. Um, you want to use soaps that are meant, like, baby products, right, that are not so harsh with chemicals. You don't want to overuse them. You want to make sure that your child is you're taking care of the hygiene, you're changing the diapers often, right? um, Having a wet diaper too often can result in an infection, right? Because the child is, first of all, they're in contact with the waste, with the urine, or and then the second thing is they might be holding in a lot of what they need to release, right? So all of those are factors. Frequent use of antibiotics, those also weaken the immune system. Now, sometimes there's dietary factors. If your child is not right now on medication and you just want to do what you can to prevent the infection from occurring again, um, give them lots of milk, right? Milk is, it really helps to strengthen their bodies, right? Beyond that, you want to see if you can get probiotic yogurt. If they are able to eat, give them the yogurt, give them healthy foods, give them lots of fluids. Cranberry juice is really good to make sure, to keep the urinary tract detoxified, right? And even if they are having the infection, that's one of the ways we will treat it. I'll discuss that later on. Um, Beyond this, okay, so you want to increase the fluids. So now we're going to talk about some of the treatments. There is something, it's called a natural antibiotic. I've used that with my clients. I've used that in my own home whenever we get affected by any kind of virus or bacterial. It actually, the first time I used it, or the first time I came to learn it, was when I was just entering this field as well. And it actually helped, with the similar kind of infection, and cleared it entirely. Now, we actually had a client where they were advised that if the infection doesn't clear up, they're going to be going to the hospital. They're going to be placed there for 4 to 6 months, and they're going to be on antibiotics through a drip, because that infection is getting serious now, and the antibiotics, repeated doses of antibiotics, are not helping them. We tried the same methodology that I'm sharing with you right now, and when they got tested for it just before the whole, going to the hospital, the doctor said the infection is no longer there, it's cleared. So that's why, I want to give you guys the hope that there's always another way. There's always a good way to come out of this situation. So never lose hope. Always keep yourself strong, right? Now, then there is, in order to make this, so it's called a natural antibiotic because there's specific herbs that are placed in this that have um, antibacterial properties, but they don't kill the good bacteria in your gut. Take up 1 clove of ginger, 1 clove of garlic, and the same size piece, take a piece of ginger, and you're going to add 9 black pepper balls, 9 cloves, and put a little bit of honey, put it in the blender, and you can add some water if it's not blending properly. Um, and then you have this fluid, this paste. This is called the natural antibiotic. What you want to do is get organic cranberry juice, especially for the small child. Take a quarter teaspoon of this, put it in a small cup of cranberry juice, mix it, and give it to them with a straw. Keep giving it to them like 2 to 4 times in a day. All right, and let this do its work. Sometimes it is pretty strong, but sometimes if it's really like if they have an infection, for example, in the throat, you can like put a little bit of taste in their mouth like that. Um, so this is the first step, right? So you want to give them the natural antibiotic. The second thing you want to do um, is to take Epsom salt. Epsom salt is really good for healing the body and stuff like that. It's good for adults as well. You want to take a small portion and don't take the scented ones, just take the regular Epsom salt, all right? Take a small portion with your hand, put it in the bathtub where the child is taking a bath. Make sure the tub is clean when you give them a bath. That is one of those things that become factors for such infections. And you want to take a little bit of vinegar. Again, just a few drops, no more than quarter spoon, okay? And put that in the water as well. You're going to, it has to be like at least a child-sized tub. Put your child in the tub, let them sit there and for 10 to 15 minutes, and then you're going to wash them with the regular water. Other than that, change their diapers frequently. Another thing that helps, Himalayan salt lamps, they kind of they're meant to be absorbing the negative energy within the room. So these have been effective for treating the UTIs as well. When you do all of these things, make sure your child is in a comfortable state, give them massage on their abdominal area, and see if this makes a difference. Right. If you have any further questions, you can always reach out to me and contact me, discuss it with me. I'll help you guys through it, right? If there's something the doctor recommends, follow the doctor's advice. But this should prevent the infections from occurring again. And I hope that this video was helpful. Please subscribe for more information and more videos. And I hope you guys have a great day ahead of you. Stay safe.